Hello there, Miss Candice.
Hello there, Miss Tam. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. So before we get started, of course, I want to go ahead and just welcome our viewers and thank them for being here. I'm so excited to have you. And I'm not even going to say as my guest, but just to sit next to you virtually and have this discussion. But to all of you who are on, thank you so much for joining Candice and myself today. I'm excited to share with you what we are here for, which is talking about the Gala, the annual conference and Gala in November 4th, Life After Divorce. I want to tell you a little bit about me, who I am. I am, of course, the founder of the movement Life After Divorce. The name of my business is Make It Rise. RISE is an acronym for Rebuild Intentionally and Strategically for Effectiveness. That business was designed and created for healthy marriages. And I know you're like, well, wait, are we talking about divorce, marriage? What's going on, ladies? So in 2015, I began the business. Well, it started as a ministry. I started the ministry of of Make It Rise. And the derivative of that was because of the valley that I was in when I was married at that time. And after we came out of that dark space, I gave it some thought. I thought about how embarrassed I was, how there were times where I didn't want to share with folks what I was going through. And I said, I need to be what I once needed for those who are currently in what I was in or going through or will be going through, right? I asked God for his approval. He gave me the yes, as long as my husband at the time gave me the yes. Because what that came with was a lot of transparency, right? So I had to share a lot of things about what we had gone through, what we were going through. And if I couldn't get his yes, then it was a no. And so I did go to my ex-husband, my husband at the time. I went to him, I asked him and shared with him what I thought it looked like, right? And he said yes. But lo and behold, once you get into something that you've never experienced, you experience it from a different place. And so I think it was a whole lot for him. It was a whole lot for me as well, but I was committed to the commitment, And so we went on from there, and unfortunately we ended up getting divorced. And even then I was like, okay, Lord, so now what do I do with this Make It Rise thing? If you're telling me to push and show what healthy marriage really looks like, how can I do that as a woman that's going through divorce, right? And one of the things he told me was, your purpose has nothing to do with your status. And so you can continue to do what I purposed you to do, or you cannot, right? But it is your choice. And, with some mentoring and prayer and fasting, I decided to keep moving. So fast forward, divorced, and then he gave me another vehicle to drive, which was to help women who are going through divorce and helping them to be healed and whole after going through that traumatic experience, right? Because the world, church, folks, family have made us believe that we are failures, you feel like you don't know who you are anymore. You lose a lot of you in that. And so with all that he gave me, it landed me here. So everything I went through was for a time such as this. And I am so excited that he gave me the keys to the vehicle to drive, and that I have gained so many people who are not only those that are divorced, but I have people that are married. You are one. I have people that are married that are definitely in agreement with the movement, Life After Divorce, and helping folks get through this thing, in a healed and healthy way, because some of us want to be remarried, right? And so you can only be a healthy and healed wife or husband if you are that as an individual. And so that is my vision and my mission. So where we're at today is this Gala and the conference. This is our annual conference and Gala. This will be our second one. The first one was in in Vegas. And but prior to that, we had done a book tour. So we were in Texas, we were in out here, we were in Vegas, we're in different states, but it ended up in Vegas as the Gala. And so I said, you know what, I think we need to keep this going. It's a movement and not just a moment. So that's when I reached out to you, because I knew I would need some master help putting this thing together for California. And you came aboard, and this is where we're at. So I just wanted to bring you on, Candice, allow you to introduce yourself to the people, because you are our administrator over the movement, over the gala, not the movement, but over the gala and the conference. And so I want you to introduce yourself to those that are on right now.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. Tam, we've known each other for a few years, and right before we came on, we were kind of in the virtual green room, and we were talking about how it's very interesting how we know a lot of people, we have a lot of people in common, and it's just interesting how we've met, and my husband and I actually came on with your Instagram live, I think probably a couple of years ago. And it's interesting how you watched and I watched. We both watched and supported each other. So to even have the opportunity to be thought of, as the master administrator, the owner of Candice Arnold events, it's awesome that you would think of me and say, Candice, hey, let's get together, because I think I want to have you come on board on the team for this conference. I never take that lightly. And I have told you the same thing. Any client that I'm bringing on, when we even start text or email, they get almost the same conversation. I don't take it lightly that you picked up the phone, or you texted me, or you emailed me and said, Candice, I need you. So for me, it is about the experience. My goal as the master administrator, the one who's administrating your event, is to ease some of that pressure off of you, to make things a little easier for you. My goal is to execute the vision of the visionary. You are the visionary. So most of the time, visionaries, they're the big picture. They see the big picture. They're not going to get into the weeds. And I say in the weeds, emails, keep it up with your speakers, keep it up. That's my lane. That's my lane of brilliance. And I'm just appreciative again of being able to, be on with you to start it off with these conversations. It won't be the first time. You may or may not see me again. I'm really anxious to see the speakers, the authors actually that are part of the movement. We've been on email with each other from the beginning, but now I'm just really anxious to see and watch how it all comes to pass on Saturday, November 4th. It is going to be a great time. So that's pretty much my intro. Is me married to my wonderful husband, and we still like each other. And that's always our motto.
Love it.
And we do the work every single day. And we are the parents of 2 grown adult daughters who are very much adulting. And we're actually in a new phase and stage of our marriage. And you go through levels and stages, and we're just leaning in. We're leaning in. We're learning each other more. We're teaching each other more. And we're here for it. We're here for it.
I love it. Thank you so much. It's something that you said that I definitely want to touch on a bit. You said that, we've supported each other in our own separate lanes. And I am so big on support, right? And I can only have someone lock arms with me and literally give them, free reins in the capacity that I'm giving it to you, to someone that I trust, that understands my vision, right? The vision that I have, not the vision, but the vision that I have for the Life After Divorce movement is very particular, because for some, they think that I am saying that I'm advocating for divorce. And that is the last thing that I want to express or sound like I'm expressing. So I do not advocate for divorce. I advocate for the person, the woman or the man who has experienced divorce and need just the helping hand, need an extra push, some encouragement. I want to help him or her get to the point of putting the pieces back together and understanding that you can have peace even within the pieces, right? You can be hurting and healing, and it's okay to do that thing simultaneously. However, you have to have someone or a group of people that are going to support you. So all of the ladies and men that are on, that are part of the movement, they are definitely in connection with what my vision is. They support it, they understand it, and they are helping me move forward with it, right? I recently began Life After Divorce Men's Edition, which I'm so excited about, because how often do we have men who are open and available and ready to talk about, hey, I went through divorce and this is what I felt. It did hurt. I was depressed as a result. I did go sleep around with a lot of women. Like, they are willing to talk about what they went through. But the goal in that, and with all of this, is to talk about what are the tools you used in order for you to begin the healing process, right? And so that is what this entire movement is about. Understanding that it's not just you, but there is a process of getting to whatever your goal is. There's a process of getting there. And I'm not here to say that the way that Tam got there is the way that you should get there or you will get there. But I'm here to give you a beacon of light and hope, right? And so the other people who are a part of the movement, I've asked them to do the same thing. We're not going to force you to do it the way that we did it, but we are going to encourage you to do it, right? To do whatever it is going to take in order for you to get to your healed place and space. And understand that it doesn't happen overnight. Understand that it's a process and it's a journey. And sometimes you can feel 10 times better today, and tomorrow you're back at square one, right? But it doesn't mean that you haven't done the work. It's just like when you lose someone death-wise, you have to go through these different stages. And sometimes you repeat those stages, and that's okay as well, right? So again, Candice, thank you so much for believing in me, believing in the vision and the mission, and knowing that it is God sent. It's not Tam sent. Because if it was Tam sent, I ain't gonna lie to you, I would have been done a long time ago, okay? Because
I think that's most of us.
things I want to do that God is just not gonna let me do as a result of what he has me doing, right? So thank you so much. But let's just talk about the gala. Do you have any questions for me that you think maybe the listeners would want to know?
And I may have one or two questions, but one of the things I want to encourage you is, someone told me recently, because we talk about purpose, and it's very important that that we're on this earth for a reason, and it's important for us to find out what that reason is and walk in it unapologetically. And I remember someone recently telling me, they were going through this same thing, like, well, I'm just not going to do it anymore. And God said, well, who told you that you could divorce this? So let's have that conversation. So when we're in it, we just have to lean into it. And sometimes it's, I remember I've said, it's scary. And I had my barber, who does a great job doing my hair, keeping my hair looking fly all the time. But he says, no, you're not scared. He said, we're gonna rephrase that word. We're not going to say scared or fearful. He said, you're going to lean in. You're excited for what's coming down the pipe. I was like, I like that. He said, let's reword that.
I like it.
And so again, I'm excited just to be a part. I see some of the comments that are coming through. We just welcome you again. Yes, the gala is going to be a lot of fun. I want to know, and I want you to explain to the people our guests, what will happen, because there's two parts to this. So it's not just the gala. There's a part A and there's a part B. And I would like for you to explain to those that are even considering or thinking about it. We may even have some of the authors on that their family is like, well, what are they doing? And what is this all about? And well, they were part of the book. Okay, they did this, but why do we have to have all this? And I know this is really a reinforcement to them. And it's funny, I never looked at it that way when you said that. Maybe some people looked at it like, oh, I'm advocating divorce. I never saw it that way, Tam. I've always seen it as a vehicle to help people to be in that space and be okay being in that space, but giving them the tools that you can step forward out of that space at some time. So it's funny, I never looked at it like that. I always looked at it as a support type of situation.
Thank you. And as it is. And so I'm glad that you are sharing that that's how you viewed it, because I'm sure there's others that view it that way. But I also know that I've been asked questions about, so are you for marriage? Are you for divorce? Right? What is it, lady? What are you doing? And so one of the things that I always have to make mention of is just like going to McDonald's and you're looking at their menu and they have different things on the menu, right? So you may not be a fan of the chicken McNuggets, but you like their Filet-O-Fish, right? And so that's what you go to McDonald's for. So Make It Rise has a menu, and you may not be there for the divorce information, the information for the divorcees, but you like the tips that I give for the couples or for the married folks. So when you go to my page, I have separate pages. When you go to those pages, you're going to what is for you. And so, but with this movement, I am asking that even those that are married, not married, never been divorced before, I'm asking that you just support the movement, as in supporting the people, the individuals who have experienced it. And so the gala, as you said, it's coming with 2 parts on that day. So it's going to be a conference in the daytime, and then the gala is going to be in the evening. And so in the conference, the entire thing is very celebratory. So it is me celebrating the people who have locked arms with me on this movement, and me saying thank you, but at the same time showing the world that this is what living life after divorce looks like in action. Because again, we can say I'm living life after divorce, but what does that look like in action? You know, for some, it's just shutting the world out. I'm going to live this life bitter. You know, I'm going to live this life never wanting to get married again. And so that's another one of the things that I talk about. Being divorced and wanting to be married again comes with a lot of work, because there's a lot of unlearning that we have to do so that we can take on a new mindset and be in position, happy, healthy, healed, and whole to be remarried or marry again, right? Without taking in all of the drama or traumas that we took from the past relationship or marriage, which we're going to take some stuff. It's inevitable, but doing the work to release it is very important. And so in the conference, where we will have all of the authors, the men and the women that will be speaking on the panel, they are from the Seasons of Divorce Journal. And then the men their book hasn't even been released yet. It'll be released this summer. It's the Mental Notes, Life After Divorce Men's Edition. So they'll be there as well. And you will have the opportunity as the guest to ask any question that you would like, but they will be sharing and being an open book about their journey, their process, the tools that they use. Some of them will talk about, where they messed up at. It's not always the woman, you guys. I mean, it's not always the man. Let me say that. It is not always the man that messed up in a relationship. It's not always the man that cheated. It's not always the man that didn't spend the money right? So oftentimes society has put us in this bubble to make us think that there's compartments to who does what in relationship and marriage to make them fail or not be as successful as we would like them to be. So in that session, we will have the Q&A. The panel will be all of the authors, the men and women. I'm not going to give everything because I definitely want you to be there and be a part of, but just know that it's going to be a lot of very deep discussion, open, transparent, and honest. I've been saying that it's going to be a hot day. It's going to be a honest, open, and transparent day. And I am asking you all to be there. But then we're going to roll over into the evening, and we're going to have cocktail hour. We're going to have some live music. We have a speaker. We have awards that will be given out to those who have been a part of the movement since 2021. So my ladies that are a part of that were in the anthology Life After Divorce, they'll all be there as well. And we are just going to have a good time. We are going to dance. The gala is not going to be serious. Listen, we are about to have fun. And if you are not ready to have fun, I don't know if you should be there. But I have a surprise, and I haven't even told you, Candice. So I have a surprise for everyone that no one will know about until the evening of the gala. And so, Candice, this is news to you, but I have something planned very special at the end of the gala for everyone. And you guys, I'm gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be amazing.
And those who know me, I don't, it's hard to keep stuff from me because I want to know every single thing that's going on so that I can anticipate if something happens, I can just pivot right away and nobody even know.
That's why I'm doing it at the end.
That's right. You're not supposed to know that. But I am excited about the knowledge that'll be, the content that'll be there. I'm excited just to be in the room. I'm excited just to support you. And just so everyone knows, like Tam said, it's not just for people that have been divorced. My husband's going to be in the house supporting me. We have some wisdom too. And everybody has wisdom when you've gone through divorce. I think one of the things I'll be looking forward to is knowing, and I'll ask you to this, Tam, I'm not sure if the panelists, I know we'll have a moderator, but one of the questions that I was thinking about as I was getting prepared for this evening, I said, I wonder if there is one thing that you know now, if you knew then what you know now, would you have made a different decision? Is there one thing that stood out for you that's like, if I knew then what I know now, is there a different way I would have gone with my marriage? What would have been that one thing that you were looking at that maybe I would have done different? Maybe, or maybe not, it would have resulted in the marriage still being intact. We don't know.
Right.
But it's like hindsight's always 2020, and that's where your healing comes in as well. So I know that's going to be, and that was one question I was going to, have for you. If you looked in hindsight, is there one thing that stood out for you? It's like, oh, I wish I would have done this better.
Yeah.
Is there one thing that, and may help somebody even now? That's why you guys have to buy your tickets. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can definitely answer that question. And I'd say this, I would say, I wouldn't say that I would do it better, but I'd say I would do it differently, right? One thing that I did while I was married is I tried to church my husband to death, right? So everything I said was, a lot of what I said was because the word says, or because God said. I was trying to show him too much of the Bible instead of just showing him his wife, right? Wow. And I learned that pushed him away more than brought him closer to God. And not said that it pushed him from God, but it wasn't an encouragement to get more of God. But for me, I just thought if I just continue to say these things, share these things, be these things, right, then he would be more, be more available or willing to do those things when all I had to do was be. Right. So I spoke more than I was being. And that wasn't necessarily the best way of doing it. Right. And so I've learned over the years that that's not the best way of doing it. And so just being Tam, because a person that knows you, if your husband, you're married to a person that knows you, he knew the spiritual side of Tam. I didn't have to speak that. He needed his wife, Tam. Right? He needed the fun Tam. And so sometimes even in that, you aren't given permission to be that, and you won't be that. Right? So I can't say that in the past relationship that I was in, he gave me permission to be all of Tam. I could be the spiritual Tam, I could be the fun Tam, and then still respected the same the next day. I didn't think that I'd be still respected the same the next day with my ex-husband, because we never really had those type of discussions, right? And so when you don't know what you don't know. And so what I will say is, after you've been divorced, if you are a divorcee, I will say this, go back, tap back into what it is. The question that Candice just asked me, ask yourself that. Because moving forward into your next relationship or your next marriage, you want to be able to say, okay, so that didn't work there. How can I do that differently? And this is a different person. So you have to adjust, and you have to be able to, do it a different way that's going to work for where you're currently at.
Yep, exactly. I mean, I love it. I love it. Hopefully you guys, now listen, you're just getting a taste of this. Tam's actually not speaking. She's letting the folks just be themselves when they come into the place. Now she's doing all the talking now. So, but when we get there November 4th during the day, she's really just releasing the reins and letting her speakers and her author, I keep saying speakers, but her authors, the men and the women, and to be in a space where men are willing to be vulnerable, which that is really a big thing for them, to be vulnerable and to be transparent. That in itself, if I wasn't attending, I would definitely be attending, because I want to be a fly on the wall so that I may get some, and I know I'll get some nuggets too that's going to help me when I'm communicating with my husband. I think I better back off of that one. Okay, what's the timing of that conversation and that sort of thing. And again, being married as long as I have, we're still finding each other. We're still, as we say, learning each other. And it's been quite exciting. And I'm glad that we're not stale. I'm glad. I'm really glad that we're willing to have those deep conversations. Like I didn't, and have fun. Like I didn't know my husband, he is like the greatest guy, but I didn't know he could crip walk. I was just like,
hey.
You do that? And he's like, excuse you? But that's like been a highlight for the last year. I did not know you could do that.
That is hilarious. I love it. I love it. I love it. You're like, wait a minute, what is this?
I was like, that's my husband doing that, So, you can definitely tell we're two totally different people when we got married. When they say the two shall become one, you're one, but you're still individual. But I said, okay, I don't need you to teach me that. I'm okay.
You said you can do that, and I'll be over here on the sideline being your biggest cheerleader, right?
I'm a rah-rah. I'm a rah-rah. That's what I'm gonna do.
One thing that I always say to couples is that you must be a teacher and a student. You have to continue to be a teacher and a student, right?
Yes,
because
ma'am.
The person that you met and you married 20 something, whatever amount of years, different person. So if you are still trying to address him the way that you addressed him when you first said I do, you're already setting yourself up for failure. So you have to give yourself permission to teach him who you have become. Like, baby, I don't like roses anymore. You've been giving them to me, but how would he know unless you tell him, and vice versa. So that's one thing that I share a lot, is to be a teacher and a student. But I wanted to there's a couple of guys that are a part of the movement. And I'll say this, a few of them have remarried, a couple of them have remarried. And I want to talk to the wife of that man. I want to say thank you so much for giving him permission to be a part of this movement. Mm-hmm. I don't take it for granted, nor do I take it lightly, that you have said you are going to speak about something that once hurt you and you're not there anymore. You are with me. Thank you for being confident enough to allow him to be a part of a movement that says there is life after divorce, that says I have to rethink, relive, bring up, talk about, write about something that I encountered that was before you. Thank you, sis. I appreciate it. I love you for that. And I honor you for that. I think that's big and that's major.
It is. It is. Yeah, we definitely can, congratulate those wives and that the men did the appropriate healing, because, if you don't heal and we don't do our work, we'll take that right into the next relationship. And then we're trying to figure it out, like, okay, that didn't work either. It's like, okay, we got to look internally a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot. And we're always doing the work. It's always some internal that we're working through as we're being, when we're married, and hopefully we're doing those things before we get married. And I know that we are almost at our time. We want to be mindful of folks, hopping on with us. We do appreciate it. Again, it's going to be Saturday, November 4th, 2023 at the LAX Embassy Suites. We have a great hotel location. The staff there have been wonderful in welcoming us to the hotel. The spots are limited. Now, she dropped the link there, but the spots are limited, because once we kind of started looking at the numbers as far as the guests and with the speakers, and we said, well, wait a minute. We only got a few spots left. So we need you to click on the link and buy your ticket today. And again, it is for anyone who wants to come. It's not limited to those that are divorced, and it's not limited to those who we want you to come and have a good time and to support Life After Divorce, the movement, just to support those that are there, to come and support the authors who actually poured themselves into a book and were willing to be vulnerable and willing to say, hey, I want to share my story. Because what we go through a lot of times is for us, our growth, but it's also for other people as well. For people to have that permission to say, okay, I think I want to get through this as well. I want to work my way through this, whether I get married again or not, or whether I'm single. I think we talked to a few of the authors and they said, oh, I'm very happily single, sis. I'm real good. And others are like, I desire to be married again. I'm going to do the work. Even if God doesn't send me that man, I'm still going to do my internal work and continue doing it. Helped me tap into my purpose and that sort of thing. So we definitely encourage everyone to, buy your ticket today. We still have that early bird pricing, and I anticipate a sold out event. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the photo booth. That's the big thing now, is at 360. I'm looking forward to that. I want, by the time we get to November 4th, everybody's going to pretty much be letting all their hair down. And
it's a black tie, and it's a black. We talk about that.
Come on. We're going to be dressed in it. I'm already looking like, okay, so let me hurry and get myself together.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if I can get my husband into a tux, because we got to come out and make sure that we are representing and having so much fun. I'm looking forward to the fun. I think the one thing for me, once I get to the event, because it's a lot that goes on before you get to the event. Once you get to the event, we're looking at each other like, you know what, God, we've done the work.
Yeah.
Now we're already prayerful and dependent on him. He's going to bring it to pass. We're just presenting it to him and say, you can change it any way you want to change it. We want to present the best to the guests, but I'm just going to be, you know, when you see me in I'm just looking cute.
That's it.
No
That's
problem.
it.
Oh, you want to sit there? No problem, ma'am. Come on and have fun. Let's get on the photo booth. Let's go do that 360.
That's right.
That's what I'm looking forward to, is just that'll be a culmination of a couple of years with the authors, the men, you know, friends and family, just being able to come out and support. That's what I'm really, really excited about. I just want to say congratulations, you know, in advance to you, Tam, to all of the authors. We really salute you. That is an effort to pour, even if it's, you know, in writing, to be vulnerable and say, hey, I want to share my story so that someone else can get freed, so that someone else can be the best version of themselves. So I think we have a question, a comment. What was that?
Comment. It's a comment from Florence. And you guys, I want to give away a ticket.
Let's give away a ticket.
Let's give away a ticket. So I was trying to wait for someone to ask a question. It was going to be the first person that asked the question, and I haven't seen a question up here yet. So I don't know if we want to roll with this comment, because it is a very good comment. She said, intentionally healing, don't be afraid to get counseling. She says, get the help you need in order to heal. Yes, and I think that is so monumental in order for you to move forward, right? Many of us, we want or we ask for a certain thing, but we are stuck. We are, stuck in a place because we haven't done the work. Melanie says she asked the question. I didn't see it, Mel. Let me go up. Melanie says she asked a question.
Yeah, and you remember, and while you're looking for her question, remember back in the day, you would never hear about folks going to counseling or therapy. It was not spoken. You know, you did not have those. You didn't know that somebody was in therapy. You didn't know that someone was, trying to do the work internally. Family was like, nope, whatever goes on in this household stays in this household.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it. Now people are a lot more open to talking about it and saying, hey, I went through that. I went through that and I got over on the other side. So that is actually a really, really great comment.
Yes, it is. Melanie, I don't see your question. I don't see your question, doll. If you could type it back in, that'll be great. But yes, I definitely agree with you, Candice. We didn't talk about therapy. That wasn't something. We were always led to church. We were always led to pray. And while prayer changes things, it does. But there's a reason for therapists as well. So get you a preacher and a therapist and put that thing together. And let's see what that concoction brings about, right? But I am a therapy pusher because it gives you the opportunity to just release and let go and be free and begin to understand, the why to the what, right? And because you haven't been given permission to really talk about what you feel, that's an opportunity for you to do that. Did Melanie drop it back in?
No, I didn't see it. But you know what? We have the what is it? The love and Kim Giving Hands made a comment, and also Melanie made a comment. So
and Paul made a comment.
So let's see. And did Paul do the first comment?
Paul is one of the men in the Life After Divorce.
Oh, okay.
Some men get hurt.
He's already going to be present,
right? Some men get hurt and give up on relationships and love. I agree. Definitely agree with that, because there's that they shut down. Oh, there's the question.
There's her question.
She says she was asking where I can benefit as a widow. Okay, maybe it will help me better understand my future mate, as most of them have been divorced. That's a very good question, Mel. Thank you so much for jumping on here with us tonight and as a widow. And so I noticed that, so Melanie, with a lot of the posts that I make on my life after my on my Make It Rise page, she comments and she's saying that she is a widow. And so I say you would benefit from, if you have any hope in getting into another relationship or marriage, some of the things that we share, and just like I tell most people, the name of my business is Make It Rise, but create your own it. What is your it, right? Whatever your it is, you make it personal to that. So think back on all of the things that you had encountered with your husband, those things that were good and the things that were maybe not so good, right? The things that you wish you could have done differently, better, change. You have another opportunity. You still have the chance to do that. Now it's more so of asking yourself, what does that look like in action? Because if you didn't do it then, how do I know that this is what I should be or could be doing now? Right. So I believe that just staying connected, even with this movement, not saying that you were divorced, but there are some of the same emotions that you are going to feel as a result of losing your spouse that we felt. We lost our spouse too in a different realm, but there's still a loss that's there. And so there's still a process and a journey of being healed. So understanding what your location is, where am I and where am I trying to go? So if I am trying to get to point B, I have to know that between A and B, there's some things, some hiccups, some places, some people that I am going to encounter that is going to dictate how I get to my point, however I'm going to get there. So I believe that knowing your location, being okay with your location, and saying that I need to heal from, the loss of my husband. How do I do that? What does that look like in action? So it's not just divorce, that these tools that we're giving, like the Seasons of Divorce, that book, if you get that journal, I can guarantee you that there are going to be some things in there that you can use as a healing mechanism or just another layer of healing as well as a widow. Did you have anything to add to that, Candice?
No, and it's great. Melanie and I went to high school together, so our history is long. And so I just commend her. I appreciate her and the fact that she's being open to the process. And, like Tam said, you're still knowing you're getting to know yourself all over again. Because her and her husband were together for a long time. So getting to know yourself again. And now you're going in with a fresh pair of eyes. You're doing the work, but you're going in with a fresh pair of eyes. And then you actually know the questions to ask that gentleman, as we call it back in the day, that gentleman caller. You know the questions to ask. You know when those red flags go up, or you know what you like and what you don't like, and what you appreciate and what you don't appreciate, and that sort of thing. And you'll be able to have more of those conversations with yourself, and it'll make it easier to have those conversations with him. With us raising two daughters, my husband and I are sometimes side-eyeing, like, what kind of choices do these women have out here? We just gotta keep praying. We just gotta keep praying.
So, yes, indeed. But it starts with you first. You have to work within yourself, make sure that you are as ready as you can possibly be. Because we'll say, I'm healed, I'm ready, but you don't know if you're healed until you are put in position to respond healed or not.
Right.
And many times you just don't know until you know, right? And so I say, Melanie, keep doing the work. Keep connecting with people that are going to lock arms with you, assist you in getting to that point. I think it's very important for us to have support in these shoes. Like, we have to have someone that's supporting us, that understand where we're at and where we're trying to go. So I applaud you for even trying, for even being available to it.
So I think between Melanie and Lovin Kimmy Giving Hands, I think they were our two commenters. So what do we want to do? We want to give them one each. What you thinking today, Tam? What you thinking?
Let's give them one each. Let's give them one each.
Awesome. So how would you like for them to contact you when we hop off the call here? Did you want them to get you on Facebook, Instagram? What would you prefer?
So Loving Kim has my number, and I'm not sure, so she can call me. I'm not sure about Mel,
but Melanie, I have her number.
You have her number?
I'll give you her number. Yeah.
Okay. So I will. So let's do it this way. I'll call you both tomorrow, and we will go from there. But congratulations. I look forward to you being a part of the event in November. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, like I said, that is going to be, as you said, the culmination, the celebratory. This is all celebratory of all the work that you have done from 2021 up until this point. And so I want to say personally, I want to say thank you all to those that will be there as guests. I want to say thank you for helping me celebrate those that are members of Life After Divorce, the movement.
It is going to be great. So yes, Saturday, November 4th, 2023. And even when you click on that link to buy your tickets today, you actually have the opportunity. We negotiate a really great rate if you want to stay for the night and just to really enjoy the hotel, so you don't have to rush back to wherever you live. We just really want everyone to be as comfortable as possible when they come and just enjoy the gala and the conference as well during the day. We are just excited to see each and every one of you there with us, and to enjoy that special night. So again, thank you so much, Tam, for having me to come on. And just as a future note, Tam is going to be doing a few more of these, and you actually might just hear from some of the authors. So that's going to be really, really great. So they'll be giving some little snippets about what they'll be talking about at the conference during the day. So you don't want to miss it. And like Tam said, we're not giving all the nuggets away. That is why we want you to come, so you can get all the information that will be shared on Saturday, November 4th. So I will turn it back over to you, Tam.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Candice, once again for coming on and sharing this time with me. To all of you that are watching now, to those that will be back to look at the replay, thank you so much. Leave your comments. If you have questions, we still want to answer those questions for you. Please do not hesitate to get in contact with either myself or Candice, because she is the master administrator, and so she is removing a lot of that from me. But even if you reach out to me, you have a question, I'll field it to her and allow her to get in contact with you to answer those questions. But please go over to the link that's dropped in the comments. Grab your tickets because they are going very fast. We have to include those of us that are going to be on panel and a part of the movement, also with those that are guests. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope to see you there. I'll see you soon. As she said, I'll be coming back periodically with some of the authors. I was going to say ushers, with some of the authors. And just chatting a little bit with them, talking a little bit more about the gala and the conference. And so we hope that you'll be a part of it. Have a good night, and thanks again for joining us.
Good night. Bye-bye.